It's Monday. Hi.
I love that top. I love the style of it. I feel like it's very Western.
She's a Western girl today.
And yesterday we had talked about that we were going to talk about on our parenting podcast.
Someone asked.
Always about conundrums, but
it's Monday.
Raising boys.
I mean, that was someone's conundrum. She said, I need you to talk about raising boys on the pod. Is there a place I can go listen to raising boys? And here you go. We're going to talk about, not as an expert, but as two moms.
No, and we've got a lot of them. We have 4.
Whoa.
And I think I don't know if I said on the other podcast, but I always kind of imagined before I had kids, I imagined a lot of things. And I imagined that I would have 4 kids, but I did think that if anything, I didn't really imagine having a girl. Like I thought maybe I could have like 4 boys or 3 boys or whatever. And I'm so thankful that the Lord took care of me and gave me a girl.
The Lord.
I know everyone's thankful for whatever they have.
Yeah.
I truly think that there's something really special about having a boy and a girl because I was talking to someone who's having children and it's like, I want to have 2 girls. And I'm like, but that's great for you. And if you get what you want, that's special. But having boys and girls, it's like having 2 different species. It's like having a cat and a dog. Like they're not the same. And I find them very different to raise, very different to be around.
Yeah.
Each individual one is unique in themselves, but I don't find girls and boys the same. So it's kind of fun to have the experience of having both. And I do think, I'm a girl. I'm a girl. I've experienced being a girl.
What's your biggest challenge in raising a boy?
I would say, there's challenges and then there's worries, right?
What is your biggest challenge to date in raising boys?
It really hasn't been that bad, but I would say like they're 2 things would be, 1, not being able to guess what they're thinking. Whereas with the girl, I feel like I can more like connect into her brain, and the boys, I can't connect as much into what they're thinking. And sometimes if I make a guess of what they're thinking, I feel like I'm not so on the same like synergetic path, because I do believe that male and female brains work so differently. So I naturally wouldn't know how a boy's brain would work. And so not knowing what they're thinking sometimes or feeling. And then the other thing, just because I still have pretty young boys, is their physicality. Like my boys are pretty cliche in the fact that they need to exude energy like a puppy.
I have a daughter like that.
And and I heard about it I see it. And my daughter gets flustered and needs to get out, but they all have sports. It's just it's a touching. It's a touching thing. They touch each other and they poke each other and they love it. Mm-hmm. They love to wrestle and touch each other and fight. Mm-hmm. And I don't see anything entertaining about that. And then it ends up and then they turn.
Yeah.
So another thing is they can turn, my boys can turn, all of them, no, 2 out of 3 can turn mean and mad. And
who can't?
Teddy.
Oh, it doesn't turn mad.
No, doesn't have that mean aggressiveness where he wants to hurt. So I find that because I have nothing in common with wanting to hurt. So when they turn and they want to actually hurt each other, it's weird because it's not relatable. And my brother was 3 years older than me and 7 years younger than me. And we never physically hurt or touched each other like that.
My brothers did to each other.
Yeah.
Like full brawls. I grew up with it. So I'm like
actually hurt each other.
I get in fights all the time. I'm very aware of it. So I'm not like, oh my God. Like
no.
The cousins, like I'm very aware that boys like to do that. Not all boys, but some boys.
I'd heard about it, but I also have another family I spent a lot of time with was my cousins, and they had 3 girls and a baby boy.
Yeah.
So all the people I grew up with, and then another family friend was 3 girls.
My cousins were boys. I've been around a lot of boys. And then in social work, I'm sure it's changed now, but it was a lot of boys in who had been suspended and expelled for physical, for things. So it was a lot of boys in my life. I think that what we've learned from the common parent is that boys are physically aggressive. Girls use weapons as words. So they weaponize their words. Boys physically get into it. And now girls are also physically getting into it and not just weaponizing their words. So I think the thing with boys is that I'm so new to the journey of boys because number one, puberty blows my mind. Like having a 12-year-old boy in this world is, girls are done by 15. Most of them are neat, tidy, done 15. Get their periods, get their blah, 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 done at 15. Like you can look around, most 15-year-olds, they age between 15 and 18. They could be 18, they could be 15, but they all kind of look the same. They all exude. There's not, if there is a few that haven't hit it yet, it is a few that haven't hit it yet. And they've started, but it just hasn't gone full on. Most girls are fully developed physically by like 15 in the world that I'm watching. They still look young and have braces and stuff, but you know what I'm saying? And they're kind of hit their height. Like no one's growing. Most girls aren't growing inches at 18. Yeah. I think the thing with boys is because girls, you can kind of see physically them changing so quickly. Their hormones make sense. Where boys, I feel like it's such a long haul. Like I feel like it starts young and continues to go forever. Like it is so long where I feel like the girls are, I am not a scientist, but the girls, I feel like it's like it happens faster, the switch of maturity, which you can see amongst us in society, where boys, they're still making bad decisions. And I don't even mean bad decisions like being baddies. I just mean
stupid. Like not
being
immature.
Thinking it through. So looking mature, but being immature. Like when our girls are like, I don't want to date 15-year-old, I understand why, because I've seen them and I'm like, you're a man child. Yeah. Like you kind of look like and I mean, my son plays hockey and there's like they're the 09s and 08s who play, the rink is like their rink. So there's only one rink. So it's always those teams that are there. When I look at the 08 and 09s, there are some that look like they belong on my son's 12-year-old team. And there are others that look like they belong on a university team. The difference in facial hair, body size, the way they hold themselves, some of them like be like, oh, and the other one's like cruising looking for girls.
Well, a really crazy age is the one that Tucker is, so 8th grade, because not even 08 and 09, so not 16 and 15.
No, they're 13.
It's
U14.
grade 8s. So
grade
8 it's U14. It's U14.
Sorry, 8-9s. Grade 8-9s.
So Tucker's teammates, some have full beards, and then some are babies. And I see it, but I remember seeing it on Teddy's baseball, and it's really weird to look at it in baseball because they're not covered up, right? Yeah. So you're looking at their legs, their body, their everything. This
is when they're warming up in front of me, right, without their stuff on, and I'm like,
that's Tucker's age,
and it is the grade 9s too, the 9th grade, where I'm watching, and I'm like, this is
Teddy's age,
so wild,
the difference.
To see the difference. So I think it's really hard to parent this because they're changing so quickly, but they're not changing that quickly. They're changing like it's like this start stop. But I don't think I don't know. Boys are really complicated because if you aren't one, you can't understand what it feels like to be one.
You know what else is weird is like we as like women, talking to girls and understanding girls comes naturally because we are girls. But the people who understand the boys the most are their dads. And this is like obviously a generalization, but dads aren't the ones to sit and talk to their son about the kind of things that we talk to our daughters about. And we try to talk to our sons about, but it would be nice if a man who is like them could also have those kind of conversations. Like even let's talk about wet dreams. Oh, somebody was bringing up wet dreams. Wow. And she was like, I have no experience with that.
I think what's super interesting is we had a guest on 2 weeks ago, because this one will come out this week, where she talked about where men, when she said it because she's one of our favorite experts, and Coach Karen, when we stare at each other, we find it intimate. Men find it aggressive. So that's why they never sit and talk to each other. They always have to look this way. Like biologically, it's like they can't deep eye with each other. And I bet boys and men probably awkwardly don't like the feeling of those conversations. And so for a dad to all of a sudden, they're not comfortable with the conversations because they've never had them. So they actually don't know what it's like to be a boy right now because they were never that boy.
No.
And now they have to become the dad of a boy who's supposed to be different than what they were raised as.
Yeah.
And I think that as moms, the only thing we can do is battle or dismantle the stereotypes. So when we see things on TV or you hear conversations or you hear them say things, we as women have to be like, that's not the norm. Because I don't know if dads will always catch it because it's how they were raised, or when they talk about girls, like that's not what we do here. Or when they are talking about, so we really do have to, as moms, do such an intense job of like,
because I think a lot of the dads who should be the ones that are like the most relatable to them because they're the same sex don't have the same skills that we as women have. Not their fault, not the way they were raised, but they should be the ones, but we're going to still have to be the ones, even for the boys.
Did we take a break yet? Okay, I'll take a break. I think the difference is now that this is a generalization, but I think dads are more available, which is going to translate to a different relationship with their kids. Like I think the amount that I'm only talking personally, but the amount that I see dads picking up and dropping off and taking their kids to sports. And when I go to the doctor's office now, there are as many dads as moms now. And
that would be probably a bonus of COVID too.
Yeah. And I think that when we see more dads involved, the relationship has to change. Like it's going to change and they're going to see a different role. So the boys are naturally already going to dismantle a role that the dad's not really there for some of us. And then I think the other way is the way we communicate with them and the way our relationship is with their dads and our conversations we have will pollinate onto them because they're watching the way we all interact. Yeah. And it's a different role now. And then there's siblings. If you don't have other girls in the house, I think siblings. And then I think girlfriends and cousins. I think we're more harmonious together than we were. And I think schools are doing a better job talking about relationships and consent. And, I think that what's happening is boys are learning a different way. I'm hopeful for boys. And I think that we sometimes have a doomsday like view. And I don't think we have to, because I think they're way more advanced than a lot of their dads.
Oh, 100%.
And they're a way more, they're sometimes more in tune than we are and than we think they are. And I think that they, if you can just stop and listen, if you can decode what they're saying, and I think that's what a big job of moms is, decoding. And I think we're really good at decoding the actual, well, at least for my kid, if I can decode him, I know what he's trying to say. It doesn't always come off the way the girls would say it.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, it's like, you're like, okay, I'm going to dig deeper here.
Yeah.
And if you're concerned about it, I think.
I was thinking it's also really helpful. I'm really glad that my boys have a sister.
Yeah.
And I know you don't get to choose these things, but I'm just going to say I'm thankful, because I was just thinking if I had 3 boys, I don't know if I'd be as open to sending them to a boys' school. Because I think that being around girls is really important. Listening to what they talk about and what's important to them and their reactions. And especially girls today are so much more vocal about their rights and telling boys the way it should be.
Yeah.
It's important for boys to not just be around their mom, but around other girls.
Yeah, and I think you can get that through cousins. I think you can get that through friends' kids. Like, don't, just because they're girls, don't not let them, like, oh, we don't have anything in common. Like, bring them around. And I think also that for parents who are struggling with, like, thinking about boys and being like obviously, she's like, I'm so lost in raising boys. That was the conversation. I think you don't always get the feedback that you want to validate what you're doing. That's not just boys, just so you know, that's also girls. But boys have a tendency to even gatekeep more than girls. So I think that as they grow up, they naturally are, you don't get as much affection. I think boys are so affectionate when they're little, and you get you feel so tight as a mother and a son. Like it's like you have a bond, but the bond changes, and the bond changes also with the girls. It just changes. It's just, it's easier to understand the girl one because they're just like, that's just what happens. You still know them, you feel them. And a boy, I think you have to let go of them being yours because no one's yours, and understand that your job is to be like a great female leader in their life, and be someone in their life who you can be the gold star. Like you're the gold standard of like don't accept less than what you're worth. You don't need another woman to tell you how to feel, what to be. Like you don't need a woman to validate who you are. And
I think it's also something important that we all might do, and a lot of us do, is don't have different standards for the girls and the boys, like within the house and all of that. Because this weekend, they were like, oh, I'm hungry. And then I was like, okay, well, go make yourself something. Like, and then I feel like my son is, I mean, he can make himself a steak. He knows how to boil water and do pasta, but he was acting like he couldn't. And he was asking his sister to help, and he was asking me to help. And I was like, okay, I think you're joking, but just in case you're not joking, neither of us can even go in the kitchen, because if you're not going to learn how to do it yourself and we do it for you, you're never going to learn.
Make them?
Catherine,
tell me.
It was boiling noodles.
Oh, God damn it.
Now, I believe he knows how, but I think that
he did it with us on the cooking show.
Yeah, he does. But sometimes I feel like we will excuse the boys and we'll do things for them, or the sisters might do things for them. And I think we have to make a conscious effort to make them just as capable in everything as anyone else. And sometimes I'll be like to my son, you do this. He goes, why? Because I'm a boy, I should do that. I go, oh, no. Your sister and I are way stronger than you are. I'm just asking you because you're right here and it's more convenient, but we are stronger than you. Yeah. Yeah, and we were. Yeah. She put the Christmas tree to get up and down, and he was like, oh, I can't lift it. Oh, yeah. I was like, call her. She can do it.
Our daughters are very strong. If like anyone's wondering, like my daughter could kick my son's ass, and he's very aware of it. Like very aware of it.
Sometimes I wish that she could get into the brawl just to show them, because not only would she be stronger in every way, but she'd probably have more skills, and actually she'd be able to like punch and whatever, but she'd also know how to pull hair, pinch, scratch, you know? Yeah. More clever.
Yeah, they can do way more than you think they can. Chloe made muffins from scratch by herself. She's 9. In the oven, out of the oven. I didn't even realize she put them in the oven and out of the oven by herself. I was like, whoa, you reached into the hot oven at 9 and pulled them out.
And knew to wear a...
Yes.
Because you would picture a 9-year-old to reach in the oven with her hand.
And Max,
she's watched you bake a lot too.
And Max makes his own pancakes twice a day. Yeah, like and the bacon. He makes peanut butter and jam by himself.
I think the thing is that they're way more capable than they think you are. And I know a lot of parents are like, but I just love doing it for them. But just like, make sure you make them do it, so
or
that
get them to do it with you. They all have to help me make dinner.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, someone come and help me. So they have to grate the thing, do the thing. Like all of them have to be involved. And I think I think we have to check your own standards with boys too, because I think that you naturally, we have stereotypes that we were totally raised. You know, here's what's so fucking crazy. I worry also about the expectations we put on them for being successful, because the pressure to but to be a provider in men and boys can be a lot of pressure. Like if you aren't necessarily really good at something, I think the girls feel it now too. I just don't think it's I think it's the girls now feel the pressure too. But I do think about the boys, and like, I don't know how many boys, if they were like, I really want to raise my kids as a stay-at-home dad. I don't know how many kids are saying that in school right now, because if someone was like, I really am dying to be a mom, you'd all be like, that's so beautiful. I don't know if a boy really wanted to their dream was to be a dad, if it would be as
I feel like for a lot of the stay-at-home dads, it just kind of happened to them.
Yeah, rather than it being like a really big choice of like, I would love to be a stay-at-home dad. Not that you can be a dad and work too, but I just wonder what jobs and what things our boys think they need to be. What do they think they need to be versus what do they want to be, and who do they want to be? And I think we spend more time with the girls in general, in society, in schools, talking about self-reflection, like journaling. Like my daughter does a fucking journaling course in school, and they do like self-reflection courses. I know their one school did, but I don't know if it's part of the curriculum of other ones.
Do any of your kids like write a diary?
I know one does journal. Yes, she always has. I have some of her old letters.
Okay. She needs to stop.
Why?
Well, in crime, it's bad.
Okay.
Because then she'll start writing down the bad things and people can go and find that. Don't do that. Tell her to stop it immediately.
I'll tell them to stop it.
Just put it in your head.
Just get it off it right now.
Say it in your head, but keep it in your head. And then, so I would say those were the biggest struggles so far. And then the things that I would say I would be the most worried about is I find it really hard these days that when the boy, like, when their brains aren't fully developed, and we've talked about this before, that they have the ability to do things online that can ruin them. And boys did it when we were younger, some of these things, but it couldn't be
as
tracked.
big.
So they might said things, or, you know, no one should be getting away with anything, but sometimes you'd make little mistakes, and these little mistakes can really harm them for a really long time. Just yesterday, my sons were saying how this kid's he's so funny, he's kind of weird. And then one of my sons said, well, he snapped me something, and I didn't ask what it was, and I don't think it was like a dick pic. Like I think he said something, and this particular boy is also girl crazy. And I said, well, what did you do? And he said, I didn't respond. And I was like, I'm glad you already know that. Yeah. Being a part of that there's so much digital education that has to happen. But I mean, if you're just thinking about, you're so casual on your phone, and you might just say something, do something, send a picture, share a picture. It's kind of hard. And it's a lot of the boys seem to get in more trouble because they're just not developed enough to make the right decisions, but you can't turn back.
Yeah. And I think you have to anticipate they need more than you think they need. And I think that they're really easy to let slip. I think that boys are very easy to let slip away. And I think we think they're fine, and we don't know they're not fine till they're really not fine. Mm-hmm. Like, I think we also don't have girlfriends in the picture yet. Like, this is going to be a very, very different time.
There's going to be so many conversations about that.
I just even mean if there's one that they're really serious with.
I know.
And, you know, a lot of people talk about their last year in high school going in with like a serious girlfriend or boyfriend. And it's still happening where they'll go to university and college together, and like in the world we live in, and make a decision for their life based on someone they're dating from high school. Now, listen, sometimes it works out for y'all. That's great. Mm-hmm. But like, my worst nightmare is they have a relationship in grade 12 and make a decision with that based on that person does, because you are so young to be making a decision influenced by someone you love. But I think girls have a lot of influence over boys. I think
it's also crazy to think the girls that they're going to date have mothers and parents that have a huge influence over that girl, and then in return over your son, and you don't even know them.
No. And I think we're not there yet. I think it's scarier for parents. It's scarier for boys to have a girlfriend than girls to have a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. I feel like,
because, you know, the crazy thing is that when you hear stories and stuff like that, you feel like
generalization, y'all.
Yeah, that there's so much about like, oh, she had a terrible boyfriend and he just took control of her and she did everything he said. And I obviously that can happen, but I feel like first of all, girls these days are different, and we have such like, not control over our girls, but like I feel like
we're very close with them. We have a very close relationship with them.
And it would matter what we think. Like, I can't say that, but it would matter what we think. Whereas, I do think that our boys could go with the girl, and all of a sudden, even more than our daughters believing their boyfriend, that our sons will believe their girlfriend that these things are right. And
I do think so.
And true.
I think they'll stick up for their girlfriends over listening to us. I do. I think that especially when they're rebelling, I think that if the girlfriends are exactly opposite of us, they might like that.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny you just said that. I said out loud just this week that I feel like part of the reason my husband and his brother married the girls that they did was a little bit out of like not super intentional and of rebellion away from where they lived, where they came from, and rebellion they wanted to explore the world, and it wasn't convenient for the family. Like their decisions weren't convenient, but I felt like it was a tiny bit of rebellion.
Yeah.
Is what I guess Mark probably rebelled being with you too.
Yeah, except we didn't leave the country.
No, but just like rebellion from the parents and the family. Like, I don't really care that you don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time where Mark's mom said there's plenty of girls in Massachusetts. Like, why are you falling for a girl in another country?
Yeah.
Which is really realistic.
I mean, that's marriage. Like, I even mean like, I'm talking about like grade 10 and 11 where we're like, oh my, like that's, because we don't have rebellion right now yet. It's like when the rebellion, what kind of rebellion are you going to get? Because they all have to kind of rebel in a way. Like whether it's like emotionally rebellion, whether it's like they all have to go through like a little bit of a shitty phase. Most of them have to. I mean, and I don't mean like really traditional, like where everyone's like, watch out for the teen years. I mean like the rebellion where they have to find themselves. They have to do things that you don't necessarily, you're not going to agree with everything because they're not the same person as you. The girls often bring you along with the journey and they tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, so far we have 2 and at the age we still have 1 more coming up from the long haul. But the other ones, I feel.
It's like they have to try things out to know what they're going to like and not like.
Yeah.
And they can't just trust that because we say it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think people who have,
oh my God, it's gonna be so weird.
When boys get in relationships, I think that's when people. And here's the other thing: if your kid is, let's say, really studious or really good at sports or really like on a path, and the girl doesn't like that, and it could go both ways for the girl and the boy, but from my experience, if it's like you're choosing your hockey or your rugby over me, like that shit where they begin to get distracted because it is so important to them. You as a parent have to really step back and be like, oh my God, because maybe they want to hang out with that person they used to study on Friday, Saturday night and get straight A's. Now they're like, well, this is actually more fun. Like all of those things where your kid used to be and you were like, this is amazing. And then they're like, you're like,
I heard about a kid who has had a serious girlfriend for, let's say, over a year. They recently broke up. And someone was saying how he's playing so well right now, kind of out of nowhere. And I was like, do you think maybe that because, his brain, half of his brain was never really there, it was with her?
Yeah, because often girls are like, meh, 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 meh. I'm stereotyping, but the relationship, if you're in a fight before you walk into the dressing room because she's pissed at something you've done, it's going
to affect you because you care so much about her.
And vice versa. Same with girls. It happens to girls too. Like, but I guess
I couldn't write my test because we're going to fight.
I guess the point being is that girls will often share with you their feelings where they have somewhere to unload. I don't know if a boy's going to go to his teammate like, I'm really upset by the way, like, I don't know what to do. Like, and I think that's the big difference we're underscoring here is where do they have the output? I don't know where they have the output because I don't know how many of them are sharing their deepest, darkest feelings with anybody. I think they're feeling them. And then let's just say a girl gets involved and they did share, but if there's problems there, where do they go? What do they do? I think they just kind of.
Well, it's also scary these days because, what if I say something to that person, but then they go and put it online or tell somebody else and then.
For fuck's sakes, let's move to an island.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. I think boys are a long haul. Where I feel like girls are like just fireworks. I feel like it's boys, it's like this, like you don't know. It's like that firework that just kind of is like, oh, it goes again. Oh, it goes again. Like you don't really know how many are going to keep going. Where the girls are just like, dong, dong, and you're like, you know what to handle. And I think every boy is so different. I think every boy and every girl is so different, but boys are so unique in what they need. And if you can understand what they need and get to know them as people outside of the role they play within your family, that's probably the best thing you can do. Because I think the easiest thing to do is just let them be the role they are in the family without actually getting to know who they are as a person. Because I don't think they know who they are. So if you can help them by getting to know them with them, I feel like you do yourself a really big service because I think in turn they learn about themselves when you can actually take that. I mean, I don't know how many boys would be comfortable on a one-on-one trip with their parents in terms of like not a sporting event, like where you're going to do something when you're used to a pack. I think that's a problem with siblings too, is they get dependent on sibling relationships. And when you take them out of the roles they're used to, they're like, oh my God. And I think men do, and boys play roles, and they don't actually know what roles to be outside of the roles they are. You know, my son has a really hard time when he doesn't have hockey. He really has a very hard time having identity. I'll be like, what if you're in Barbados and there's no ice rink? What's the next sport you're going to do? I would never move to Barbados. But you can't, let's just say, I would never do that. What about, no, summertime, there's no hockey. Where are you going? To Finland. I'm like, no, he cannot even play the game of the weekend of like, no.
Boys are also terrible at that game. I'd like to put it out there, but they're terrible at the imagination game I have experienced in life.
Yeah, and I think like if they love something, I can only relate to hockey, like not going on a trip to do something hockey, going to do something the opposite of hockey and see that there's something outside of hockey or outside of baseball or outside of football. And moms, get to know your sons like individually as a person and hang out with them as a person. And I don't mean you have to go away. I just mean drive them somewhere and let them talk.
And when you get into conversations with them, when you don't have a lot of opportunity to do it, you often will be so it can be surprised, and it doesn't mean like a negative or a positive, but sometimes they just say things and you're like, wow, I never knew you had that perspective. Like
your one actually seeks you out to be alone.
Which one?
You know. He seeks you out with helping, like he will seek by helping, by going, by doing, but he definitely seeks out the relationship more. The other ones just naturally need you. He doesn't need you. He seeks you.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's a great thing about him, that he will seek you guys just have to accept the seeking.
Yeah.
Without being too busy to find, without being too busy to see that he's seeking. I think sometimes we miss clues that they're trying to be
and
around
then when
us.
you do have that time, like get into conversations with them because you don't get it often. When you hear it, it can be very insightful to things that they're like thinking, or opinions or dreams or thoughts that they don't really want to say in front of the whole family.
I know. There's not a lot of time in life. Yeah, so leave us your conundrums. I mean, the boys is an ever evolving conversation. And in terms of like problems, it's so much easier to find problems with girls because they talk about them all the time, because there's bullying, self-esteem, confidence, mama. Boys, it's like I sit here and I'm like this. It's really hard to know if they're struggling with problems. Like I can see sometimes in the face, but he would never be like, I'm really not liking. It would come maybe a week later in passing, but he would have already been in that feeling and now thinking back to that feeling rather than telling me the feeling in the moment.
They don't blurt it out.
Some don't. Mine doesn't. So I have to like wait, and then I hear like the lob, and I'm like, am I going to catch it? Caught it. Sometimes not though.
And it's crazy with boys how they'll say something and you're like, how have you never told me that before?
Oh yeah, how much they sit with quietly.
Yeah, like what did that happen that long ago and you never mentioned it?
Yeah, boys, stay tuned. Our oldest is 14. 14. 4 more years, 18.
Man. Oh my gosh,
4 years.
They're so cute though for boys though. Oh my God, they're the best.
I know. I wonder if Max is going to share a room with me. I want him to.
Yeah.
You're so weird. You're such a weirdo. Why are you so weird? Mom, you're so... Look at you. You're so...
Every time they tell me I'm so weird, thank you. Thank you so much.
What's wrong with you? You're so...
That is the biggest compliment you could ever tell me, is that I'm weird.
The girls don't call me weird. Him?
Yeah.
Only one who calls me weird. You're so weird. I know I'm weird.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That's the biggest compliment you could ever give me.
There's no mom like you.
Because
I know.
The opposite of weird is regular. And who the fuck wants to be regular?
Do you have a bra on?
Yeah, but I pulled it off.
Like you bent over on your boob. Did your boob? Okay. Perfect. Your boob did not come out. Oh my God. Can I tell you one really funny story before we go?
Yeah.
I was walking with one of my friends in the neighborhood. And she goes to me. Speaking of sons, because her son is the age of like 14, 15, so she knows the girls in his life. Goes to me like, why are all the girls' boobs so high these days? Okay, and I like am dying laughing because I'm like, well, it's called youth. Like youth. They've not breastfed children and their boobs are in their neck. And some of them they all say push-up bras, but not all of them are wearing push-up bra. My daughter does not wear a push-up bra and her boobs are in her neck. It's youth, guys. It's called youth because when you were bending over, their boobs wouldn't bend down with them. Their boobs would stay.
They do though. They do wear a lot higher and bigger push-up bras than it is about getting their boobs to their collarbones.
Yes, but some it's youth. Like even if we did that, ours would not go to our neck.
No, ours wouldn't. But it is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
But it's a thing that they're showing it.
Yes, but not. I'm like, if you're walking around and I'm like, it's called being young.
Mm-hmm.
Boobs. I mean,
does she have a daughter?
Yeah, but not that age.
Okay.
Like when
I remember
used to think
when
I had fake boobs. I was like, no, I do not have fake boobs.
I used to think it when these teen girls, like when mine got to that age, and I was like, why the fuck are they so high and hard? It also is a thing. It's a thing of their age. So she's not wrong. Not everybody does it, but we didn't do it like that at that age.
No. Mm-mm. And I know my daughter doesn't do it.
No, she does not.
And I know
I can't even think about her boobs.
And I know her boobs when she wears a shirt are like high, and I'm like, that's high. That's high.
Oh,
they're high because she's like, the shirt's so low. I'm like, no, your boobs are high. Congratulations, you've got high boobs. Everyone's just like, do you have fake boobs? I'm like, my boobs are not fake. They used to sit round little melons right on, right. They were so good, perfectly round. Oh, that was a day. That was a moment. I need to get those boobs back. Actually, someone said I had great cleavage. What bra was I wearing? I'm like, oh, it's just an airy bra, but they just sit on the shelf.
Who even knows what bra I'm wearing and whose it belongs to? You know?
Great question.
I put this bra on once, and I'm like, Taylor, whose bra is this? She's like, Olivia's.
Oh,
by the way, fit great.
How did my daughter's bra end up at your house?
And guess what I didn't do?
Ask.
Take it off.
That's not like you.
I wore it.
Where is it now?
Tiny little cup. They fit perfectly, actually.
Where is it now?
Oh, fuck! I don't. In my house, where is it now? Down a drain somewhere.
In your son's closet. Because that was where it would be. Because why would it go back somewhere else?
So cute. It was a perfect bed.
Yeah,
it was a perfect bed. Good. But it looks small. You know.
What do you mean?
Like, because they look small. Because you get smaller ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you just but it actually fit.
Because they actually don't need to be held up.
Nope.
Ours do.